Gledate oddajo Klepet ob kavi. Hvaležna sem, da je danes v moji družbi dr. Srbislav Brašovan, ginekolog in kirurg iz Združenih držav, ki že več kot 60 let z vso predanostjo in ljubeznijo opravlja svoje delo, svoje življenjsko poslanstvo. V svoji bogati praksi se lahko pohvali s več kot 200.000 pacienti. Na svet je spravil več kot 14.000 otrok in opravil več kot 28.000 operacij. No, 30 let je tudi docent na medicinski fakulteti Univerze v Indijani, od leta 1976 član Ameriškega združenja za holistično medicino. No, leta 1997 pa je diplomiral tudi iz ajurvede na Mednarodni akademiji v Indiji. Govorimo torej o izjemno naprednem zdravniku, ki se je poleg ginekološke prakse ukvarjal tudi s kvantno medicino, na podlagi katere je tudi testiral in razvil tako imenovane frekvenčne obliže, ki so vsekakor prihodnost medicine. Danes nam bo zaupal več o kvantni medicini, torej o kvantni fiziki v uporabnosti v medicini. Lepo pozdravljeni, dobrodošli. I am very honored for you to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for a wonderful introduction, indeed.
So, how did the path of your life lead you to the United States? You were born in Serbia, right?
I was born in Serbia during the old Yugoslavia. I left Serbia and old Yugoslavia in 1962 after I graduated medical school. So I landed in America in 1962, deaf, mute, and illiterate. I did not speak English. I did not know how to write and read. So it took for a while. It took me 6 months to certify my diploma, and from there on, rest of it is just a story.
From being a regular doctor, in what years of your life, in what years of your practice did you start being interested in quantum physics and holistic approach?
Well, all my life I want to be a physician. But all my life I learned wisdom and compassion from my grandparents. My grandmother was an extremely powerful teacher. She was teacher by the profession, by the way. And she taught me compassion and empathy. Mm-hmm. And by being a compassionate physician, full of empathy, you have to think outside of the box. And that's how I became outside the box physician.
60 years you're helping women with their health, with all sorts of health issues. How did women in all these years develop, or is a woman now different than she was 60 years ago when you started?
Absolutely. When I came to the United States in 60s, actually in 62, United States was very different. And the women's position in the United States was very different at that time. Women did not have same rights. They were not paid the same. They had some political freedom. However, they were just allowed to vote, and they were not involved in the politics. Very few women you see in the sports. We did not see almost any in the military and police force. So everything has changed. However, what happened is, since that time until now, with that change, not only that women had more right, but they had also more demands. And that changed the whole milieu of their responsibilities. So women who had tremendous task of raising the family, raising the children, being really cradle of the society, as I can say, all of a sudden they had a responsibility of being involved in the politics, being involved in the military, being involved in the police forces, having additional rights, but much more responsibility. And that really created some tremendous milieu or possibility for development of the stress. And stress in a prolonged period of time causes lots of problems. Chronic fatigue, hormonal changes, behavioral changes through the hormonal changes. All that stuff all of a sudden became women's right, actually burden rather than right.
So in nowadays, women have a lot of tools like pills and creams, hormonal creams and all that stuff. Do we need all this? Do we have a power to regulate our hormones naturally without this?
Really, we can think health better. But besides that, that is a little bit more refined possibility. We are society, we enjoy, somebody will hand us a prescription and we would like to swallow the pill or use the cream and things are over. There's lots of things that can be done. And one thing that is more than obvious, that all those pills and all those hormones have side effects. So let's take a look in which conditions we need all those things. First of all, most common use of the hormones is birth control, and that is choice. Birth controls have tremendous positive effect as far as preventing pregnancy, have a few side effects which are not very serious, but they are harmful in the long run. Secondly, most common use of the hormones is during the menopause, when a woman loses hormones, and at that point, hormones should be replaced. Now, talking about the menopause, you know, common thing is that we lose hormones because we get older. And actually, it is not so. We get older because we lost hormones.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there is a fine tune in that. And hormone replacement therapy up to now was something which I really promoted to all my patients. Actually, I kept my mother in a hormone replacement therapy until she was 92 years old. Okay?
Oh.
And she was up to the last moment, mentally sharp, physically in tuned, and then she developed old age problems and left us. So hormone replacement therapy, as long as there are naturally developed hormones, hormones that mimic our own hormones. There is no same hormones. We cannot use human hormones, but chemically similar to ours, hormones do exist. And that is something that we can use.
So with healthy lifestyle, can we influence on our hormones, like making good choices, what we eat, exercising, thinking not toxic and things like that? Is these things that can actually affect our hormones?
Absolutely. Our thinking can cause hormones to cease production, or our thinking can make our hormones to flourish. However, if there is age-related decline in the hormones, you can think all the positivity that you want to, hormones will stop production. That is the nature of the human aging. By the way, aging is a disease. Getting old is normal. Aging is preventable and treatable. At least that's a position of American Anti-Aging Society that I'm a member of. So, hormones per se, we can enhance in a way as long as our body is physiologically able to be producing hormones. Your body is not physiologically able, let's say after age of 50 or 60, depending how old are we genetically by production of the hormones, then we need some supplementation. As I said, supplementation could be with bioidentical hormones, and everything has its side effects. So even bioidentical hormones can cause cancer. Those artificial hormones that you can buy in a pharmacy, especially hormones that are made out of the horse urine, which is a premarin known production, artificial progesterone, which is actually regular progesterone that just one molecule is changed so that can be patented and sold more expensively. Those hormones are definitely harmful. There are studies on that. Those women develop the cancer, blood clots in the brain, heart attacks, and all that stuff. Bioidentical hormones are less dangerous, however, danger still exists. So our goal was to find something that we can use to help women not using the hormones, but giving something to boost the hormone production so we can bring the level of the hormonal use much lower. And that's what we found in quantum medicine.
In quantum medicine. We'll talk about the quantum medicine. Maybe just a question before. Nowadays, we can see a lot of young people getting different kind of diseases, very young women getting in premenopausal state and things like that. Why do you think we have so much troubles with adjusting, so much trouble with different kind of symptoms we get?
Toxicity, toxicity, and toxicity. In the air, in the water. We never had the levels of the hormones in the water, even in the well water that you have such abundance here in Slovenia. Even in the well water, we discard so much hormones. You know, somebody was just telling me that recently somebody did in Paris, in Seine River, test on the water, and they found a fish that had no males because of the birth control pills being discarded to the urine into the sea, because even when you clean the water, hormones filter through.
Here we have frequency patches.
Yes.
How did you get in the fields of quantum physics? You said that you were taught by your mother to think outside the box. But quantum physics, you're a doctor, you're a gynecologist, you're a surgeon.
This is a very simple story. In 2012, I had a very bad sciatica. Even doctors who think outside the box get sick sometimes. And I had a sciatic pain. My back was hurting, my leg was hurting, I could hardly stand. I tried all kinds of the homeopathic medication, allopathic medication, physical therapies, nothing helped. A friend of mine came from Branson, Missouri, and said, oh, I was in a store, somebody gave me a little patch. They said it's good for pain, would you try it? So I slapped it on my back in the evening, went to bed. Now those patches have a little cardboard on the back that you kind of wet and discard it. So I threw that in the garbage, went to bed, woke up in the morning, I had no pain. I was flabbergasted. I went through my garbage, found that bag that had a phone number of the company, called them up, and the rest is a story. I became fascinated what they were doing. At that time, they were kind of a novel company. They started 2 years prior to that. We started developing medical background of their thing. And then I became interested in what's giving all this. Through all the research and development, we became nanotechnology company.
How can you explain the quantum physics?
Quantum physics is very complicated and difficult question. Even Einstein said that he knows quantum physics but does not understand it. And Einstein is one of the founders of quantum physics, with the exception of Professor Planck. And in my mind, it's the easiest to explain quantum physics and quantum medicine as well by making an analogy in our writing. So imagine that we have a sentence of several words. That sentence has 5, 6 words. Each word has 3, 4 letters, if not more. So, if we now start dissecting that sentence, the word becomes molecule. Sentence is biochemical entity or molecule, large, and has a smaller molecules within it. And those molecules even have a smaller functions, which are the letters. Mm-hmm. So if we dissect all that stuff, consider we have molecules, large biological amino acid that's consisted of many smaller molecules.
So the letters are atoms?
The letters are now the atoms, their main forming structure for the word. And words are main forming structure for amino acid or biochemical substance. So atoms being the smallest, we still have small lines in it to write it with, as we have a curved line, straight line, whichever we write letters with. Mm-hmm. By using those small lines, we can really dissect now those atoms to subatomic substances, which are subatomic particles, and particles that surround us, surround that atom. So we have a nucleus or center of the atom and surrounding. All that is made out of the vibration. Mm-hmm. That vibration can be sometimes vibration and can be sometimes a particle. And that is the whole thing about quantum physics, that can be dual thing, vibration and as well as a particle. That is that nobody can understand, neither Einstein can understand. So in that relations, as we look at it, we can then understand that we can study that smallest part, and the smallest part can represent those molecules and those large amino acids. Now, talking about medicine and quantum physics.
Yeah, how is that connected?
Okay. Very simply. Right now, we are studying those amino acids, biochemical reactions, when develop in process of disease. But what causes changes in those biochemical reactions? Are changes in the words or the original molecules, and changes in the writings of the letters. So if we start studying the letters, we can detect possibility of sentence to be wrong. And if we detect possibility the sentence will be wrong, we can start writing appropriately and make that sentence appropriate. So quantum medicine is really studying those smallest changes in those atomic structures, and trying to correct it using frequencies that those atoms produce. Because we find in medicine that everything depends on the flow of the energy. What Hindus will say prana, what the Chinese will say chi. As you know, in Ayurveda, everything comes by prana being blocked, so the organs do not function. In Chinese medicine, chi is blocked in a certain meridians, so organs do not have a food, which is energy, and then food energy lacking, organs become ill.
So everything starts in that the smallest particle.
Everything is vibration. I'm sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So everything starts with a wrong or right vibration and then proceeds to health or disease.
We vibrate. Everything that surrounds us vibrates. This table vibrates. The universe vibrates. So we are vibrating bodies. And we produce energy that can be studied. And if that energy is in a wrong vibratory level, we can correct it nowadays. Not in a perfect fashion, because this is in the beginning. I usually like to describe quantum medicine as medicine in diapers. Okay, it is that very early beginning of development. Future is bringing to us possibility by using this technology to eradicate disease totally. And really, medicine is going to be limited to trauma because there will be no need for physicians.
Wow, that's amazing.
Everybody is going to wear little apparatus like our cell phones. Scan yourself in the morning. If you have a wrong vibration, you press the button, corrects it, and you keep on going.
Self-tuning.
Absolutely.
Torej, danes, dragi gledalci in gledalke, imate možnost in priložnost, da ste spoznali 86-letnega zdravnika, ki je torej zares izjemen v svojem znanju, več kot 200,000 pacientov, sicer kirurg in ginekolog, na svet je spravil več kot 14,000 torej otrok in pa tisoče in tisoče operacije. Za njemu je pa pomagal razviti tudi frekvenčne obliže, za katere zdaj slišite, da so dejansko prihodnost medicine, torej frekvence kot take. In danes imate tudi na voljo in sicer dva različna paketa. Eden je recovery in drug je torej harmony. Torej, tale je namenjen predvsem ženskam, tale je namenjen bolečinam in vsem takim in drugačnim zadevam, da spodbudimo svoj samozdravilni sistem. Več boste vsekakor izvedeli v nadaljevanju. Doctor, so I would love to know how are the frequencies caught in this patch?
Okay. The patch, as you see it, is made out of the silicone. It's 3 by 3 centimeters, very, very thin silicone layer. That silicone layer has a minute amount of the metallic salts in it.
Okay.
No other medication, nothing else. That patch is placed in a special generator that will imprint energy. Same way as computers, your tablet here has a microchips. This is very similar to microchip that we have in the computers. So it retains the energy but does not have electrical supply. Well, our body has electrical supply. That's called biofield. That biofield activates that patch when we put it on the skin. And skin acts as a capacitator for those who are understanding a little bit physics of electricity.
Wow, amazing. It sounds so simple.
It is extremely simple. Everything in life is simple until we make it complicated.
So this recovery is for relief and performance, and harmony is for hormonal balance.
That's correct.
So this one, recovery, if we start with this one.
Okay. That is the one I studied the most. Okay. I use that post-surgery as a pain management, as an addition to the regular opioid medications. We published the study in medical journal and the data. And what we did is place the recovery patches immediately after surgery on the patients. Certain amount of the patients we put the patches on, and certain amount of number of the patients we did not put the patch on. We covered those incisions with gauze after the surgery.
So it was a blind
those are
study?
the extremely painful surgery. I did abdominal ginekoplasty, which is the incision from the hip to hip. That's the most painful surgery, and I chose this surgery because of the pain being the most common. Patients who had the patches use 75% less opioid medication.
75?
75%.
That's
Everybody
an
who
amazing
had that
result.
surgery was given prescription for 40 most powerful pain pills. Both patients who had the patches and patients who had no patches. And then we counted pills after the 7 days, how many they used. Those who had patches did not use more than 7 to 8 pills.
And that was a blind study. They
That
didn't
was a
know.
blind study.
Wow.
Those who had no patches used all the 40 pills, and they were calling for more during the 7-day period. So it is, especially today when we have tremendous, at least in the United States, we have a tremendous misuse of the opioids.
Yeah.
It's epidemic over there, worse than COVID, I would say. Okay. It is fantastic. I mean, I cannot say more about it.
So who would you recommend this to? Everyone that's going to the surgery, recovering from the surgery,
I would
people?
recommend that to all the physicians who are interested in helping their patients to use it after the surgery, because you cut down on the usage of any kind of post-operative pain medication. It is absolutely fantastic. It helps also with premenstrual pain. It helps also with any other type of discomfort. It does not replace any prescription medication. It adds to the prescription medication. Actually, it supports it.
It supports it. The frequencies here help our self-healing system, right?
Absolutely. What frequencies do, first of all, frequencies transmitted through our fascia. Our fascia is that fine membrane. For those who like steak, you have that white membrane surrounding the steak. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm vegetarian too. So that's that white membrane that surrounds. That gives muscle, and any body in our human body gives the shape. This is actually soft skeleton. Our bonesy skeleton gives us possibility to be erect. Fascia gives us shape, gives the heart its shape, gives the kidneys its shape, gives any organ its shape. That fascia goes through all the cells and inside of the cells, so-called cytoskeleton. And through that fascia, which is collagen with a little bit of crystals, conducts electricity 1,000 times faster than our nerve conduction.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
It's a whole system.
The whole system is just fantastic. Now, the frequency of those patches are made specifically either for hormones or for pain modulation.
These ones are for hormones,
Yes.
harmony.
So what happens is that frequency itself activates the receptors. Each cell has a receptor, and the hormone receptors are in specific cells that they need the hormones. That will activate those receptors, and body will think that needs to produce the hormones and naturally produces hormones. Hormones are not changed in your body, so there is no side effects, there is no harmful effects of it. That's the whole beauty of it.
That's the beauty of it, yeah. Torej, danes, dragi gledalci in gledalke, imate možnost in priložnost, da dobite tudi sami te frekvenčne obliže, da jih začnete uporabljati. Tale harmon je torej namenjen ženskam in uravnovešanju hormonov. Torej, vse ženske, ki imate kakršnekoli izzive, ali je to menopavza, ali je to zanositev, ali je to menstrualni cikl, ali je to PMS, ali je karkoli drugega, kar se dejansko dogaja tukaj na področju maternice, na področju jajčnikov, karkoli že, to je tisto, kar potrebujemo, torej, da naši hormoni delujejo usklajeno. In evo, to so torej harmoni obliži. V paketu je torej 5 obližev za 5 tednov uporabe. Zaupali bomo tudi in demonstrirali, kako točno se nanese, kako se to uporabi. Vsekakor pa tale recovery je namenjen vsem tistim, ki imate kakršnekoli bolečine ali so to nepojasnjene, ali so to zelo jasne, skratka, ti obliži, ali je to glavobol, ali je to dejansko, ne vem, hrbtenica, ali po operacijah, kakorkoli že, nanesete in na takšen način boste uporabili znatno manj drugih protibolečinskih sredstev, ki dejansko povzročajo kar nekaj stranskih učinkov. Torej, 02 6200 230 je telefonska številka. Danes ekskluzivno za vas. V Sloveniji je te dni namreč tudi sam doktor, ki pomaga razviti vse to. Torej, ima izjemno holističen pregled in pri svojih 86 letih je nadvse vitalen, je nadvse še vedno v izpolnjevanju svoje misije, da ljudje zvedo za to, kajti to je prihodnost. So you say, this is the future of the medicine, this is the future of treating all the stuff that's going on because of toxicity.
Absolutely, because there is no side effects and absolutely harmless.
I was looking at the statistics. Side effects actually cause way more deaths than any other stuff we would think.
In the United States, dies from side effects of the medication and side effects of the hospital mistakes. More people that died from COVID.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah. So I will definitely put this on. Maybe for recovery, I was doing a lot of things in the last days. So teach me how to use this. It's very simple, but
very, very simple.
Okay. So in the box there is 5 patches. 5 patches, and I see we also have these instructions, but now I have you here. So how do I know where to put it?
First of all, for recovery, the easiest way is to place it in a pain, in a point where you have a pain.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, those patches act on the electromagnetic frequency. When you use acupuncture, for those who like acupuncture,
Yeah, I love it.
acupuncture is actually electromagnetic frequency. So if you place this on an acupuncture point, it's going to work exactly the same. I do not recommend that you replace acupuncture, but after acupuncture, you place at the same spot where that needle came out, this acupuncture effects will act much longer.
Okay. So I know that there are a few acupuncture points.
That's acupuncture point for heart, good heartbeat.
Yeah, and also I have a little pain in my wrist because I was working on my computer a lot.
Okay, here it is. Patch has a little plastic. Oops. As you can see, there is a plastic here.
Okay.
That plastic should be taken off.
Okay, torej odstranimo to folijo.
Okay. You place the patch on where you want it. And then we have a little, a lot. I'll give you a bat. Okay. Then you place water on this until this is totally.
This is like a temporary tattoo.
That is exactly the same technology, the same principles. Temporary tattoo. And then you press that quite hard. Okay. Wait for about 5 to 10 seconds and it's already passed, and take the patch off.
Okay.
And you have a temporary tattoo.
Temporary tattoo with all these frequencies. Can I wash my hands now? Because nowadays this is very important.
You can go swimming, you can wash your hands, you can do whatever your heart desires with that. Let me just dry it off. Now you can do whatever you want. Now, if you place it in a, let's say in an area where you have a lot of friction with your clothes, it will last probably 2 to 3 days. If you place it on other places where you do not have lots of friction, then it will last for quite a long time. You have a little bit of water there or what?
No, it's amazing. I'm showing it to the camera.
You're talking to camera, okay.
Yeah. It, I don't even see it.
You don't feel it.
No, I don't feel it.
Yeah, no. some people who are very sensitive to frequencies may feel a little like
Spiking?
little something going on, but usually there is nothing to feel.
Nothing to feel.
Yeah.
So
The
this will last...
pain relief in your wrist should
Yeah.
be within 50 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But now it will be a placebo because you told me. But it doesn't matter as long as it works, right?
Placebo or no placebo, you know, effect of placebo is a big thing. There's nothing wrong with placebo. If you think that you're going to get well and get well, it is a placebo. But actually, you did that by your thinking. So if you think the placebo will help you, you cured yourself. Placebo did not.
Doctor, this is like a temporary tattoo, as you said. And we really do trust you. You have an amazing career behind you and still working. But was this tested? Do we have like some
yes.
solid proof that it
yes.
works?
First of all, what we did, we sent it to University of Missouri, and the University of Missouri Biology Lab tested it for possibility to be harmful, and they proved that they're completely harmless. Side effect of that was that the wound that they did in experimental rats healed extremely fast, and the scars were almost nothing. And I have the same experience in my post-surgical cases, that wounds healed much faster. Patients went back to work twice as fast as other recovery patients, and the scar looked beautifully. You know, I did lots of cosmetic surgery, and I was sharing that with a friend of mine yesterday, and they were amazed with the beauty of the scars that was after the surgery. Those are extensive surgery. Let's say when you do the abdominoplasty or when you do the thigh plasties. Those are extremely extensive surgeries, and those people don't have a scars really visible. You can see the scar if you pay attention, but scars are much, much nicer, and they heal much, much faster. And there is a biopsy proof of the healing that comes faster. We did the same thing with the muscle regeneration, doing the testing for the athletes. Muscle regeneration, we injected mice with venom from the snakes. And on one group of the mice we did not use patches, one we did. And those which we used patches had a fantastic muscle regeneration that did not happen with the other one without. So yes, there is a proof. We did that muscle regeneration study at the University of Indiana.
Wow, amazing. Torej, danes, dragi gledalci in gledalke, imate dve opcije, da tudi sami poskusite frekvenčne obliže. Torej, tale harmonij je namenjen ženskam za hormonsko ravnovesje, tako in drugačno, kakršnikoli izzivi so, torej, ali je menopavza, ali se mogoče kažejo vsi simptomi menopavze, kot so lahko tudi slabše kosti in podobno. Skratka, posebej narejeno in razvito za ženske, 5 obližev za 5 tednov. Imamo tukaj, deluje eden od 4 do 7 dni. V paketu jih je torej 5 in cena zanje je 30 €. Ravno tako pa tudi za recovery, torej sami izberete, katerega bi. Recovery prav tako vsebuje 5 obližev, podpira torej normalno delovanje celic in torej biopolja, da res pospeši te možnosti, priložnosti samozdravljenja našega telesa. Odpravlja vse tudi energijske blokade in stimulira torej akupunkturne točke. Tudi sama ga imam, evo tukaj. Od 4 do 7 dni bo torej trajal in zelo, zelo hitro deluje, kar pomeni, da bo zelo hitro jasno, in kako boste tudi sami omilili svoje bolečine. Torej, danes je v moji družbi 86-letni holistični zdravnik, ki več kot 60 let opravlja svoje poslanstvo v Združenih državah in je tudi razvil te frekvenčne obliže, o katerih govorimo danes. Več kot 28,000 operacij je za njemu, več kot 200,000 pacientov in sam pravi, da je zdravljenje, podpora s frekvencami pravzaprav prihodnost medicine in ker je pri 24 letih odšel v Združene države, primarno pa torej prihaja iz Srbije, se je v teh dneh vrnil in evo prinesel te frekvenčne obliže tudi za nas. Torej, imate dve možnosti, kot smo rekli, tale za ženske, tale proti bolečinam. Telefonska številka je 02 6200 230 in pošljemo vam tole na dom. Torej, preverite pri naših svetovalkah. Zelo preprosto je, kot tisti začasni tatuji se dejansko da gor in predvsem tam, kjer potrebujete to podporo, kjer dejansko potrebujete to pomoč. So, do we have to know anything else about putting it on, taking care of it? What do we have to do when they wash off?
They wash out, put another one on.
Okay, okay. Do we need like a time off if we use it or something?
Not exactly. The point is that I forgot to tell you, which is extremely important, that all those electromagnetic frequencies go through the body, but they're amplified with the water in our body.
Ah.
So it is at most importance that we maintain hydration of our body.
So we drink more.
Drink. If you are dehydrated, you will see minimal effect. You will still see some effect, but it will be much less than if you are with well-hydrated body. If you use those patches for a prolonged period of time, there is a special side of genetics that we are now studying. We still don't know exactly what is a prolonged period of time that we need to do, but if you use stimulation of any sort for a prolonged period of time, epigenetics is the way of the study of changing our genetic milieu to the point that you're really being healthy again. You change those bad genetics vibrations to the normal
imprints.
one. Yes.
What are the real stories behind these frequency patches? The real stories of women and men that use them?
Well, there's over 200,000 stories walking around the United States. I don't know really the number that walks around Europe. I know that we reached over 200,000 sales in the United States, and works about, I would say, 95 to 98% of the time. Nothing that we know works 100% of the time. For some people, works instantaneously. How's your wrist, by the way?
My wrist is it's flowy, it's perfect.
Okay. So it works up to 60 seconds for some persons. It works up to 2 weeks for others. So don't give up if you don't have immediate reaction. That's number one, because it depends on your level of hydration and your level of accepting all those things. If you don't believe in anything, then nothing will help you. You have to allow yourself to be receptive. That's all to it. Usage of minimum of 3 weeks is, if you want to see any good things happen to you, use it at least 3 weeks. I've been using them now almost for 10 years, and I feel wonderful. And whoever wants to feel wonderful at the age of 86, I would highly recommend that you use it.
You don't show 86 years, that's definitely.
I don't definitely feel like it.
So I have a frequency patch on my left wrist and nothing on my right. And I see, I can feel a lot of difference on my left wrist. It's like it's easier, like it's softer.
You're a receptive person, number one, and knowing that you were in India, you understand lots more things in life than people who have no knowledge or desire to have a knowledge. So, open mind, receiving new things, I think is number one thing for well-being for anybody, regardless of what you use. Doesn't matter if you have a patch or you have an aspirin or whatever. If you don't believe that something is going to help you, nothing is going to help you. Mm-hmm. We have to have that belief system. Some people say this is a placebo effect. So what? Mm-hmm. Because our thinking, every thought that we have has electromagnetic frequency. And every thought that you exchange with another person entangles itself. And then we become able to communicate telepathically.
Wow. Doctor, how is it in the States? You're a holistic doctor, you're working on the field of quantum medicine. How does other doctors perceive you? Are you a weirdo, or is this more accepted in the States like in Slovenia?
Well, I was a weirdo until we published the data of our research, and until those data were shown on European Congress of Integrative Medicine in Ljubljana in 2018. We showed the data about that in the European Congress of Integrative Medicine in Barcelona in 2019. I just gave a presentation of that at the Serbian Medical Association in Belgrade. So things are being heard. People don't know until they know about it. And the only way to know about it is through the media. And I thank you for having me here.
Thank you. We are honored. Just one practical question about the harmony frequency patches. Do I have to check my hormonal levels before I use this?
Not necessarily. Your symptomatology, your symptoms, if you're feeling tired or you have symptoms of menstrual irregularity, your cycle has stopped, try patch. We have tremendous success. We have people who stopped the menstruation after prolonged usage of the birth control pills and will not respond to anything. 2 days after they start the harmony patches, they start menstruating.
Wow, that's amazing.
So what it does, it brings, consider this. Our whole body is symphony orchestra. Our brain is producer of the music. Actually, it's a composer. Our midbrain is a producer of the music. Our pituitary gland, which is kind of a third eye, you can call it, is conductor of the music. Our thyroid gland is the first violin, and the rest of it is the orchestra.
Yeah.
So it is just absolute harmony. And if we put our brain through it, our brain sends the signals through us, everything works in the perfect harmony.
And we get nice music.
Absolutely.
Torej, dragi gledalci in gledalke, 02-6200-230 je telefonska številka za te frekvenčne obliže, ki jih je razvil z mano tudi tukaj 86-letni zdravnik, ginekolog in tudi kirurg, ki je operiral na več kot 28,000 ljudmi, več kot 200,000 pacientov, je dejansko v Združenih državah tudi obravnaval, primarno torej rojen v Sloveniji, Sloveniji več kot 60 let, pa torej deluje in v Združenih državah. Te dni je na obisku v Sloveniji in prinesel je tudi te frekvenčne obliže, ki jih zdaj lahko dobite tudi vi. Cena zanje, torej en paket 5 obližev za 5 tednov je torej 30 € ali izberete tega recovery, torej tega modrega, kar svetovalkam rečete ali modro ali roza bo najlažje. Torej ta moder recovery je dejansko primeren za vse vrste bolečine, predoperacija, prooperacijah, karkoli, kjerkoli vas dejansko boli, ali je problem glavobol, ali je problem karkoli drugega, slaba volja ali karkoli podobnega. Harmony pa torej predvsem za ženske, torej specializirano za ženske. Do you have any experience with women that wanted to get pregnant?
Absolutely. Women who get pregnant should be placing harmony patches 3 months before desired pregnancy. This also helps for IVF. If you use it in conjunction with IVF therapy, it enhances the therapy itself.
Wow. Can we use both of them? Can we combine patches?
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially for somebody who has a very painful menstruation, should use both harmony and recovery patches at the same time.
Probably at the bottom part of the stomach, right?
The harmony patches on top of the ovaries, recovery patch on top of the uterus.
Okay. Torej, še enkrat, 2 možnosti imate, kar se tiče teh frekvenčnih obližev, ki so vam na voljo. Ne skrbite, slovenska navodila so zraven, če si niste zapomnili torej vsega. 02 6200 230 je ustrezna telefonska številka, kamor lahko dejansko pokličete in jih tudi naročite. Dobite jih torej domov, po pošti, zelo so lahki, hitro bodo pri vas in hitro boste lahko torej začeli uporabljati. When it comes to the recovery frequency patch, you said it can help out, we can feel the difference in 1 minute or maybe in a few days, it depends?
Absolutely. Depends again on the state of mind, state of hydration.
Torej, bistvenega pomena je, da pijemo dovolj, torej, da pijemo dovolj, kadar uporabljamo te frekvenčne obliže, kajti frekvence rabijo to, ne? Da se potem lahko vzpostavi ta pretok po celem telesu. In evo, 2 možnosti imate, tale za ženske in tale torej za vse tiste, ki imate kakršnekoli bolečine oziroma se želite hitreje revitalizirati. 02 6200 230 je telefonska številka, zelo enostavno za uporabo, seveda pa vsebuje tudi navodilo. Doctor, if I can ask you, sometimes recovery is not something physically, it's maybe more mentally, especially with all these things going on in politics, in regulations and everything. People are feeling a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. Can we use this?
We have a third patch that's called BioL patch. Okay, and that patch is for mental well-being and feeling good. So by all means, you can combine all 3 of them and have a blast out of the life.
So you are 86 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your secret of being so full of energy?
There is a basic life force. And byproduct of the life force is electromagnetic frequency. That life force we all know, but we use it so little. It's called love. And I'm not talking about sexuality.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that the longest study of people, they were finding out why they live such a good life, why don't they have they don't have as many diseases, and yeah, it was about relationships and love.
Yeah, I don't hate anybody.
Okay.
And whoever crossed my path, I bless them and release them. It's their problem, not mine.
So you're probably, still, if we go to basics, you probably drink a lot of water.
Yes, I do.
You eat a lot of greens, you don't eat
Well,
meat.
I'm vegetarian for 40 years.
Okay, okay. And beside that, you are probably wearing frequency patches right now.
Absolutely. Here it is.
Uh-huh. Okay, what is that
That
one for?
that is on a general acupuncture point that promotes good immune system and also makes you feel very well.
Immune system is the core of everything, right?
Absolutely.
So when we get a cold or something, we can use the recovery?
You can use stimulation of immune points, which is right here in the shoulders, and I have one, by the way, too, up here, and on each side, 4 finger breadths below the knee, 1 finger breadth on the side of the bone, okay, and that boosts immune system. So it will prevent you from getting sick, number one, in most of the time, because that's what acupuncture does when you use it. I'm not saying that patches do it, acupuncture does it. So please understand that, okay? Because we have to be very much in flow of what's allowed to say.
Of course. Thank you so much for all the information you gave us, and especially for giving us opportunity to use this in Slovenia as well. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's my honor and my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Torej, dragi gledalci in gledalke, spoznali ste ga, izjemnega ginekologa in torej kirurga, ki nam je omogočil, da imamo danes tukaj frekvenčne obliže. Tale namenjen posebej ženskam in tale namenjen torej za kakršnekoli bolečine, kjerkoli imate, tudi za krepitev imunskega sistema. One more question before we sum this up. Can children use this as well? At what age? Starting at what age?
After 6 months of age, anybody can use it. And age limit on top is 120.
Ok, thank you so much. Torej, od 6. meseca naprej lahko to uporabljajo tudi otroci, pravzaprav dojenčki še takrat in vse tam do, kaj smo slišali, 150, no, tisti je pa potem taka zgornja meja. 02-6200-230 je ustrezna telefonska številka. Frekvence so tiste, kot je rekel Nikola Tesla. Ko se bomo začeli ukvarjati s frekvencem, bomo v enem desetletju napredovali več kot stoletja in stoletja do zdaj.